Ladies and gentlemen, I'm recording this video in late March 2026, and in 1 week, we will commence the most exciting tournament of the year. The Candidates, a double round-robin tournament, 14 rounds, the winner of which will go on to face the world champion Gukesh in the next world championship match. Now, I have played some of these candidates, and I would like to show you some of these games. How would I, a measly little international master, a loser compared to some of these chess behemoths, how would I compare? Can I defeat any of them? Would they wipe the floor with me? That's what we're going to find out in today's video. The field is stacked. We have Hikaru Nakamura, we have Fabiano Caruana, we have Javahir Sundarov, we have Matthias Bluebomb, of course, we have Anish Giri, we have Praggnanandhaa, Wei Yi, and we have Andrei Yesipenko. And I will be showing you some of my most memorable games against these players. Also, I have been sick with a brutal influenza for the past week. This is the first day that I'm feeling more or less normal. So please excuse me if I look disheveled or tired. I'm going to make this video and then I'm going to go watch Arsenal play against Man City. So what a great way to spend your weekend. So first things first, we of course have to cover my game against none other than Hikaru. Hikaru back in the day had a second account. He would sometimes alternate which one he plays on. He hasn't played a game on this account since 2023. Kind of feel like he retired it just because of this game. And I've shown this game a handful of times. My record against Hikaru is like 1-20. Like, it's shockingly bad. But I beat him in one game. And I'm not going to make a whole crazy long analysis of this game. This game is all over YouTube. This is, of course, my proudest win against Hikaru. Then I will show you some game against Fabi, Sundarov, Bluebomb, Giri, Yesipenko, and then we will talk about Wei Yi and Prague. So this game against Hikaru, very memorable because I played a Karo Khan defense. He played an exchange variation. By the way, while he was playing this game, he was just like eating a bowl of noodles on stream and talking to his live chat. Both of us were live streaming. I'm just developing my pieces. You know, he goes bishop back, I develop. And around here, I was thinking, well, Hikaru wants to take my knight and damage my pawn structure, so why would I castle in this direction, right? I have the cannon set up over here with my bishop and my queen. It's kind of a crazy move, but what if I long castle? And given the fact that we're going to long castle and be on an opposite side, I will have some attacking possibilities in the future. Now, Hikaru plays every move basically instantly when you play him in Blitz, and he's a really difficult opponent in 3+0 because you don't get any bonus time. Like, you're going to run out of time. You have to make decisions pretty fast. So I targeted his bishop. He did not take my knight because he didn't want to open my position. And then I just played king b8, which is a normal move when you long castle. You just protect your outside pawn. He played king h1 quickly, and he's going here, all while consuming his lunch, not particularly paying attention to the position. I put my bishop on c6. The idea of this move was just, I see a king over there, and in the future, this could be useful for me. He centralized his knight. I played g6. This stops his knight from getting to f5. I thought giving away my light squared bishop was better than giving away my dark squared bishop. My dark squared bishop, like, it felt like I would have a little bit more chances to attack, and I played h5. And what's funny about this move h5 is, like, obviously I have the idea to just simply push the pawn, but there was a second idea hidden, almost in the form of the ancient tale of the Trojan horse. And when I managed to land this attacking idea, suddenly I was like, oh my god, I'm going to beat Hikaru. So he took my bishop here. Again, he spent 3 seconds on this move, but this is not a good move because traditional wisdom tells you that you got to grab the bishop, but it's bad because I actually leave the center of the board with this knight, and now this attack is a lot stronger than it looks, and it's not because of h4 and h3, but rather because of h4 and the next move, which is knight h5. And when I got knight h5 on the board, suddenly I started realizing, like, wait a minute, I think I'm just beating Hikaru because I'm threatening knight to g3 check, which is a real problem. This is what I mean Trojan horse. After pawn takes, the king has absolutely no defense. Like, the white king is only being protected by a bishop, and I have 4 attacking pieces incoming. Hikaru took on, no, he played g4, and then I took on Poussin, and it's like, well, now, I mean, the position's just, like, it's begging for a demolition move. He played knight b5 attacking my queen, and I simply moved, and I'm thinking, like, I have queen h3, g2 check, knight f4. Of course, at this point, I'm terrified. He takes on d6. Luckily, I have just enough time not to play lazy moves like this, but to actually calculate. So I play queen h3. Now I'm threatening g2 pawn mate. He can't move his knight anywhere useful. He goes queen d2, but I calculate that I can win his queen here. I can simply win it with pawn to g2 check anyway. What's funny is it wasn't the best move. The cleanest move was knight f4, which is actually, in retrospect, really obvious. He can't take because of mate, and I'm actually just straight up threatening mate. Knight f4 is game over. I thought this was clean. Apparently, this is not clean. He played knight back to b5, almost out of tilt, but actually knight takes f7 would have been almost saving the game for him, as he's going to win one of my rooks back and have enough material. But he went here, and I won this game in style. I sacked my rook on h2. I got my queen pinned to my king, but I played rook h8. And after this move, I'm still pinned, but I block the pin, and then I go here. This was such a nice game. He can't take my queen because rook h2 is what they call the Arabian mate. And I am threatening mate on h2. I'm threatening queen h2 or rook takes h2. After this, Hikaru beat me 10 games in a row. We don't have to talk about that. We've also played 4 times or 5 times in online tournaments since then. I've lost every game. It's so hard to play Hikaru. He's so tricky. I had a great position the last time that we played, but it was for like a move. So did I really have a great position? I'm not sure. A player that I have a lot more success in the candidates tournament is Fabiano Caruana, who I have nearly beaten like on 4 different occasions. Every time Fabi plays me, he always plays some ridiculous opening. Except in this game. In this game, he played a very serious opening. He played like kind of a Queen's Gambit declined, Rogozin fusion. And in this game, I would just like to show you how much better than me Fabiano is. In case you needed a reminder, I mean, he played a world championship. And he has the 3rd highest rating of all time. But anyway, watch this game. So in this game, you know, he plays some Queen's Gambit declined. We both develop our pieces. I trade in the middle and put my knight here. And I thought I was clever. I'm going to trade some pieces against Fabi. H4 is almost always a move you can play in these positions nowadays. And then I developed my bishop and I centralized. And this was the position from the opening. I mean, it looks very normal. Maybe white can continue with rook c1 or knight d4 or something. I played queen c1, which is a terrible move. It's terrible because I was trying to take back the bishop with my queen. But it's just a waste of time. I mean, I should just bring a piece. And after this, you know, small sequence of moves, queen d2, I was very impressed with how Fabi played this. So first he put a pawn on c5. And the idea is that he wants to open up this bishop in the future. Maybe he's going to play d4. But to stabilize his bishop, he needs to move his queen. So, and then he's going to bring his rook. Just watch the way he coordinates his pieces. So he plays queen d7 to keep his bishop protected. Then he centralizes the rook in the middle of the board, right? I play e3. Now he plays a4. a4 is a very important move. It controls my queen side. So now I can't move my pawns, right? Then he plays bishop c6. He wants to play queen b7 and line up the diagonal over here. That's what he does. I go knight h4. He finally plays the move d4, supported by the pawn, the knight, and the rook. Of course, I cannot take. Because if I take, he's going to jump in with my knight. It's going to be terrible for me. And I'm going to lose one of my major defenders of my king on this diagonal, the light square diagonal. And the other idea of putting the queen on b7 and following in the light squared bishop is that Fabi can now play queen e4. So the queen goes d7, b7, e4 with the idea to maybe help with d3 and this advancement. But also to go here and try to win my pawn. And the idea of winning this pawn that I overextended is that he's not just going to win my pawn, my bishop is trapped. You see, he couldn't play the move g5 for the longest time, trapping my bishop, because I would en passant. So he trudges in with his queen, wins my pawn, and traps my bishop. And I just found this game so funny because, like I just had no answer at all, you know? And this whole setup that he played was very hilarious. Like, the move c5 enables the defense of the light squared bishop, right? Like, look at this, queen d7. And then he just prepares a couple things on the queen side. And he's like, yo, I'm going to trade these light squared bishops, bring my queen in, and then go win that pawn so I can trap his bishop. Okay. And yeah, that's what he did. And then he beat me. Knight d4 attacks my queen, threatens another fork, threatens knight f3, followed by queen h1, which is mate. And yeah, Fabi absolutely is by far the biggest beatdown he's ever given me. I have beaten Fabi. I just beat him recently for the second time, and he once stole a game from me, for which he should have had the police called on him. But overall, yeah, I mean, my games against Fabi are generally one-sided, although I have had some more chances against him than against Hikaru. When I was preparing this video, I completely forgot about this game. I think I covered this game probably in some distant video. This game felt disgusting to watch back as well. Sundarov should be ashamed of himself for what he did to me in this game. I played the Scandinavian defense once against Javahir Sundarov. Actually, twice. Not only twice, like, I played him twice in, like, the same day. This was in 2024. So he played one of the most aggressive lines against me, where they try to trap your queen. And then he played bishop c4, he played g4, h4. This is cutting-edge stuff. The computer really likes this for white. But if you just follow the variation, which is what we did in this game, black is actually completely fine. This variation is very dangerous for white, actually, because white overextends these pawns. There's a lot of positions where black even sacrifices material here, but because white's king is here, it's a little bit too dangerous. And Sundarov took my pawn. I went rook e8, which was not the best move, but it doesn't really matter. And then I played g6, trying to break apart his pawns. And he didn't really stop me, so I took. And then he tried to do this. And then I played h4, which h4 is not the move. I mean, I should be pretty committed to losing this pawn. Rook g8 and taking on g5 is probably better. Knight f8, knight g6 are probably better. Maybe bringing my queen back is probably better. But okay, I played h4. And then he tried to open up my king. We traded, except we didn't trade. He put his bishop on e4. And he kept trying to attack me, but it wasn't really working. And then I just protected myself. And before you know it, I'm just much better and up double the time against the upcoming candidate. Granted, in 2024, he was nowhere near as strong as he is in 2026, but it is what it is. You know, you don't pick these battles. I defended my pawn, rook f8, queen b3, and I thought, okay, it's just a matter of time. Hey, I was so proud to play the move rook f4. Look at this incredible move. Rook f4, I thought the game was over. Rook f4, threaten the bishop, threaten this. If he takes, that's mate. But he finds rook g4, and now all I gotta do is take and pick up a little bit of material. For some reason, I took this pawn. I think it's better to take this one. But I thought I'm taking, and then I'm gonna promote this pawn. But yeah, that's not gonna happen. So instead of that, I go for queen f1 mate. This whole time, I thought this game must be over in just a matter of seconds. But here came rook f2. Suddenly, my queen is hanging. So not only am I not attacking anymore, I'm actually defending myself in this endgame. Queen b6. Not only am I defending myself in this endgame, I am straight up losing this endgame. Crazy turn of events. I go from winning to lose. I mean, it's normal for me. But yeah, here, to not take this pawn, a little bit brutal, but I only had 2 seconds on the clock. I mean, what can you do? Had he taken on c4, then rook f8 would have been clean. I've had a lot of good positions against some really good players in the world. I just don't beat them. But yeah, this was a -5 position against Sundarov that I once had. I lost, obviously. I went on to lose this queen endgame. I think here, Yeah, he allowed me to make a draw with queen h4 and then a queen trade, but again, difficult to pull all this off with 2 seconds on the clock and playing not to lose. And that is how the game ended. He ended up walking his king into my position, and then he made a queen. And he won. And that was my game against Sundarov, unfortunately. Me and Bluebomb have had some very exciting games. So for a few years, Matthias Bluebomb just beat me all the time. He had a score of like 5-0 against me. And then we played this game, and since then I've actually managed to beat him multiple times. This game was a big moment for me. I covered this game a long time ago on my channel. You know, in this game, Bluebomb, he played aggressively, but then after this pawn trade in the beginning of the game, everything went downhill. So he went back, and then I went queen f5, attacking his bishop and threatening mate. So he backed up, and I picked up a pawn, and I was just up a pawn. Now, he was looking to get knight c7 in, but the problem is that he had a lot of weaknesses near his king. Then I took a pawn, and I took another pawn, and he had to castle to get out of danger. And before you know it, I had 3 extra pawns. Okay, 3 pawns up, not bad. He took on c7. I simply took his bishop, and then I lost my rook in the corner. And then from this point, I just played a blistering pace of attack against him. So, queen a5, queen g5. Check this out. I brought my queen back, and I rotated it to the side of the board. I thought this was completely brilliant. King h2, and bishop e5. And every single piece is involved in the attack. And it's quite clear that white simply does not have the means to defend here. He plays g3, but that activates my special ability, sacrificing the rook. Rook takes f2, taking on g3, taking on f2. Everything is disintegrated near the king. This is mate. And of course, we can win this game by trading the queens, but why would we do that? When instead, we can basically win all of his pieces and then checkmate him a little bit later, like this, with 2 queens on the board and running his king to the opposite side and delivering a thunderous checkmate. Now, I have beaten him a few times since then. The good news for Matthias Bluebomb truthers is the last time that we played, he picked me up and kicked me across a football field. Yeah, this was, I got absolutely humiliated in this game. I mean, granted, right now he has a lot of aura. Back when we played that game, he did not have as much aura. He's a candidate now. So we got paired, and I played a little bit loosey-goosey. I played like knight f6 and h5. I was trying to be a little bit fancy. Yeah, it went terribly. He completely shut me down, and I played like a buffoon in this game. He hunted down my king. He played confidently, and I got absolutely pancaked. That was the game. Lesson learned. If you're going to play the same triple pawn attack against Bluebomb, at least repeat your lines, because the last time that we played, it went relatively well. But yeah, he completely destroyed me the last time that we played. So if that means any indication, beating GothamChess before the candidates is a big deal. Fabiano couldn't do it. So I'm just saying, Matthias might be in better form than Fabiano. Now, Anish Giri and we have not played recently too much. The last time that we played a game, he mouse slipped against me in the opening. This was a blitz game maybe 2 years ago. He basically, he took, he moved the piece. I took it, and instead of playing queen takes, he played queen here. So he mouse slipped, and I was trying to make a draw by repetition because I thought it was good sportsmanship. He's so arrogant, he was trying to beat me anyway, down a piece. In his defense, like on stream, he was like, oh, I'm going to beat him anyway. And then he was mad that the game ended in a draw. Which, I mean, I get it. I guess I'm terrible. But it is what it is. But yeah, that was our last blitz game. Now, we played some bullet back in the day. He beat me like 20 times. But I managed to win 1 game. This is my only ever win, I think, against Anish. And it was in one of my favorite variations, which is this variation of the French defense, which I play all the time in blitz. And I managed to even catch Anish in it, which is sort of hilarious. I'm trying to win this pawn back, and sometimes after c4, I get people with bishop f5, and knight goes to c2. He realized this very early, so he just lost the pawn, and then he just quickly developed his pieces. But I was very happy with the way I attacked in this game, which is clearly my playing style. You know, that's what I do. I attack. So in this game, I built up my position, and then I launched my attack. So I need f5, f4. I need, you know, potential sacrifices brewing, like sacrificing on g3, etc. So he played c4. I removed his bishop. My voice is cracking. King g1. Bishop back to e7 to avoid any c5 business, and also to play f5, f4, and bishop takes h4. He played b4. I played knight a4. I like this move, trying to go knight c3, maybe knight b2 as well. He played b5, but that doesn't stop my attack. He can take my queen, but I'm going to take his queen, and then I'm going to take a second pawn. He didn't like that, so he wanted to get his queen out of the way. But after queen e6, he's in severe danger. Queen h3 is coming, then knight e2 is mate, the queen would have to cover. f5, f4 is still always there. The attack is very strong, his rook is still hanging. Knight back to a4. It looked like he was getting back into the game here, but Gotham roars in with bishop takes h4, and then f4. And now it's a little bit too late. I mean, the last pawn is going to fall, defending the white king. The second f-pawn comes in, attacking the knight. Granted, this is, of course, a bullet game, but still a very emphatic game. Bishop takes g3, sacrificing a bishop to open his king. Pawn to e3 check. Queen e4, and I mean, this is just game over. You cannot defend the king in this position. I don't care if you're Anish Giri or Magnus Carlsen or both playing on the same team. Rook g2, queen e2 mate. Bulldozing the king out of his position, checkmating him in the center. My one win in like 20 games. Against Anish Giri. And if somebody will beat him like this in the candidates, that would be pretty epic, but I don't think it's going to happen. There you go. Now, last but not least, Andrei Yesipenko. Andrei Yesipenko has beaten me like a piñata on all of our games that we have ever played. I have never beaten him. I beat him in 2017, 10 years ago, in Bullet. Doesn't count. He was winning every game. But this game really made me laugh because we played this game a little while ago. Andrei is so good at endgames. He has that typical Soviet style where you can trade like a bunch of pieces against him like this. But if you just overextend even a tiny bit, like he will just beat you and make you look like a fool. And that's what he did in this game. Like this position's equal. White has certain pleasant things like a queenside majority, which just means that this simplifies down to 1 pawn versus 0. The pawn will be a passer. It will probably walk. Needs to be protected and supported. It won't be so easy for me to defend. I go here. This is already a serious positional mistake. It just allows more access to the knight than necessary. And this pawn's weak. The pawn on e6 is much better placed. I should just play solid waiting moves. Then I push the pawn again. That pawn is even weaker. It is closer to the opponent than to my side of the board. Then I trade the bishops. This trade is just bad. My bishop was active. His knight is very strong. The rook has a beautiful centralizing square, and he's soon going to control the only open file. Rook c5. He plays g4, taking a little bit of space, looking to maybe dislodge my knight. Then he just brings his king, takes the open file, brings his king a little bit more. I've created enough weaknesses in my position that now he can exploit them with his rook. And before you know it, he trades one pair of my rooks, because this way he's going to have faster access to my position. And then at some point he's going to prepare his advancement, and he's going to bring his king. So watch. Watch as he puts it all together, right? Rook c7. Here comes the king. Beautiful, by the way. G-pawn, king walking up the board. b4, the second my rook goes to defend my center, he's ready with c5. I back my knight up because I'm just trying to maneuver. Immediately, the rook goes back to attack the pawn. The king is beautifully positioned on f5. Cannot be removed. Rook takes. He's 2 pawns up now, out of nowhere. I get my knight back into the game a little bit here, and I go for counterplay. But f4 is very nice. I take a pawn. But the second wave of attack comes in. King back to f3, rook e7, and just directly going for my king. Freezing him on the back rank. f6, Rook A8. He beat me like we didn't even deserve to get paired against each other. And that's the way our games have generally gone. So the player in this field that I've beaten the most is Bluebomb. I have never beaten, and I've actually never played Wei Yi. I have played Prague. He doesn't know because I was on I was on my anonymous account. I would show you the game, but yeah, we played, and oh my god, Prague is so strong, it's insane. I remember getting paired against him and thinking like, wow, this is such an amazing opportunity. He was so good and so fast. I was like sick to my stomach, but I was fascinated. I managed one draw, and then he beat me like 20, like 15, I don't know, a bajillion times. But I've never played Wei Yi, but he would also destroy me. So I've beaten Bluebomb quite a few times. I've beaten Fabi twice, beat Hikaru once, as far as I count it. But yeah, had a good position against Sundarov. These players, so tricky, so resilient. Yesipenko is a terrible matchup for me because he's super good positionally, doesn't really take risk, like doesn't do anything dumb. But yeah, excited. I'm excited for the candidates. Can't wait. And let me know who you think is going to get it done in the comments. Starts in a week. I'm going to go watch this cup final. Get out of here and stay healthy.